ready for another CNN narrative. On Sunday night, Trump came out with a press release talking about a new, plasma treatment. The plasma treatment's to help COVID patients. It's about saving lives. Apparently, it's also going to reduce the mortality rate by 35%, which to me is pretty good numbers, but it's not up for me to decide. Well, of course, shortly after that report, Anderson Cooper comes out and actually does his own report on what actually happened with, guess what, 2 experts. Well, first, here's the clips that Anderson Cooper decided to play for you.
Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. It's had an incredible rate of success. Today's action will dramatically expand access to this treatment. Well, I think that there might have been a holdup, but we broke the logjam over the last week, to be honest. I think that there are people in the FDA and actually in your larger department that can see things being held up and wouldn't mind so much. It's my opinion, a very strong opinion, and that's for political reasons. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with life and death.
So after they show the first clip, this is how it starts. He introduces his professionals, and let's get into the questioning.
So, Sanjay, it was just last week that the FDA reportedly slowed down efforts to give convalescent plasma emergency use authorization. Dr. Fauci was among the government experts who were skeptical. I know you have sources close. I'm wondering what you're hearing.
Yeah, I think this was surprising to a lot of people. I mean, just a couple, 3 days ago on the FDA's website itself, it said there was not enough evidence to support emergency use authorization. That was just a couple days ago.
Expert 1.
I mean, essentially, what he seems to be saying is that there were, deep state actors or people who don't like him who wanted to hold this up in the FDA, I guess, or HHS, to damage the president somehow.
Well, thank you, Anderson. The first thing to say is the data does not support the approval of this drug. That's clear. I've seen the data. And secondly, this is not a breakthrough. This is a very modest improvement for people who take it very early, if it's an improvement at all. So the FDA was correct. The NIH is correct.
There's your 2 experts. They're clearly spinning this narrative that Trump overstepped the FDA. He did not listen to the FDA. And he's pretty much off on running amok again like Trump typically does. Well, if you guys actually go to the press release, let's fast forward a little bit. I believe we're around the 13-minute mark.
The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization, and that's it.
There you guys go. The FDA just announced emergency use authorization. But for all those skeptics out there that are like, oh, Trump just talks out of his ass, he just lies. He's going to tell us anything he wants to say to spin his own narrative and get what he wants across. So if you guys fast forward a little bit, it gets even better.
So thank you again, Mr. President, for supporting this remarkable progress against COVID-19. And I want to thank Dr. Hahn, Dr. Marks, and the entire team at the FDA for.
He just thanked the entire team at the FDA. Why would he ever do that? Well, let's keep going.
Speed with which they've approached this, the diligence to ensure that this meets the standards at FDA. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Hahn if it's okay, Mr. President.
Very much, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. It's good to be here today to announce FDA's recent decision. From the beginning of this pandemic, the President has asked FDA to cut back red tape to try to speed medical products into the hands of providers, patients, and American consumers. And I just want to echo the President's thanks to the more than 17,000 men and women.
Okay, so you guys have it. Anderson Cooper's over there spinning a narrative about this press release that Trump overstepped the FDA. He has 2 medical experts that are even referencing how the FDA hadn't had any new information. And keep in mind that Anderson Cooper came out with the news report after the press release. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to make it or even have clips from the press release. But yet, in the press release, he has someone from the FDA talking. He says right before he even starts talking about the plasma treatment that the FDA approved it. And the FDA is there. And the FDA even gives an explanation of how and why they approved it. The research they did and how many lives it's going to save. I'm going to put a link for both videos in the description so you guys can watch them for yourself. And like always, if you guys like this video and actually found use from it, please like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have a good one.